We have Chef Francesco in the house today. He's in the kitchen. Yay! What are you cooking for us today, Chef Francesco?
So I'm traditional Bobotie. So it's a South African food. Everybody knows how to do it. It's warm, fruity, flavorful, great for cold weather days or after a long expedition outside. It is easy, simple. You can prepare it the day before or the morning of. So when you come back from your adventure, you have it ready in the oven and it's ready for you. It has a lot of ingredients, but it is very fast and simple. So I'm gonna warm up my pan here. Very, very crazy. It uses two slices of white bread. Okay, so you gotta cut up the crust. Now, don't throw that crust. If you follow our podcast, I will show you what to do with this crust one day. I'm gonna make some bread pudding. It's very good. So we're gonna keep that aside and I'm gonna let it dry overnight, and put it aside, and then you will do some bread pudding one day. So you take 2 cups of milk with your 2 slices of bread. Soak in those breads in there. Okay. You're going to leave it there. Put that aside. We will come back to this. So, recipe time, guys. It's lots of stuff, but it is easy. So, I got a nice pot here. I have my cast iron warming up. 6 tablespoons of butter. So, you're going to melt this. Okay. Now with that, you're going to use 3 medium onions, finely chopped. Put it in there. You're also going to use some up to 5 garlic cloves. I like my garlic. It's good for you and it has a really, really good taste. Now, with this, you don't want to overcook the onions. You just want to be able to soften them up. Same thing with the garlic, okay? So as soon as that is up, it is going to be ready for the next step. Now, a few fun facts about this Bobotie. It goes back from the ancient realms, okay? They used to use this concept of having the meat, and they would use the meat, pine nuts, some seasoning, some peppers, and some celery. Once that is cooked, they would top it off with some eggs and some other seasoning. So this recipe goes pretty far back to the Pellinian ex lacte. So pretty far in the ancient realms. Now, another fun fact. Okay, actually, I'm going to tell you another fun fact. Just stick with us. So this onion is softened up, and this is great. So I have the curry powder, 3 tablespoons of curry powder, 3 tablespoons of chutney. Chutney is a peach jam marmalade, but it's a little bit more bitter and sweeter. I don't have that, but I do have apricot. So I'm going to use the same amount, 3 tablespoons of apricot, but I'm going to use a little bit of tablespoon of lemon. And also, this is Worcestershire sauce, so 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons of vinegar. I use the rice vinegar. You can use white vinegar. And also, you have 1 tablespoon of turmeric. Now, you just have to keep a little bit of a pinch for later. Okay, so I have my onions here. So you're going to put all of this great ingredients in there. Mix it up. So I did keep a little bit of the turmeric on the side. You're going to get some flavors. So since I don't have the chutney, I'm going to put just a little bit, let's say about 1 teaspoon of lemons, freshly squeezed lemon. I'm also going to add this Worcestershire sauce and the rice vinegar. You can smell delicious flavors here. So while that is there, I'm going to take the soaked up bread in the milk. So you're going to squeeze as much as you can without, okay, so you have a little bit of it left. And then you're going to add it to your mixture here of your garlic, onion, and all your seasoning and spices. So you're going to squeeze as much as you can of the milk out of this. And you're just going to tear up little pieces into your mixture here. Now you're going to keep aside the leftover milk in your pot. So you're going to mix this up. And it's pretty surprising because this bread that's been soaked in milk will still absorb all the extra butter and juices from the onions. This is crazy. When I started cooking this the other day, I'm like, wow, this is so cool. You could probably use this idea of using this bread to be able to soak all this, the spices and juices into your cooking, right? Because you don't want to lose those great flavors. Now, you're going to use some 1 kilogram or 2.2 pounds of ground beef, or also called minced meat. So you're going to take this up and you're going to break it up in little pieces into your mixture here. This is a special podcast today, special cooking in Chef Francesco's kitchen. Going to show you the whole thing, and you will see it doesn't take long to prepare your food here, and you can keep it aside and cook it later. So I'm going to wash my hands quickly here. It's still on high heat, and you're just going to mix it up. So now when you're going to cook this meat, you don't want to overcook it. You just want to be able to take the pinkness out of it. So you want to cook it just until the pink is out. Now, another fun fact of this too, like I said, the ancient Roman recipe was the same concept. Of course, different flavors and different ingredients, but they did a research for this bobotie that they could find a very, very, very similar recipe that was in an old recipe book from the Dutch. In a Dutch cooking book, they had this recipe. Now, of course, it was brought back to South Africa with, of course, a little bit more curry powder and some other ingredients, but they had this recipe that was able to, they tracked down this recipe all the way to the 1609 in an old Dutch cooking book. So that is awesome and crazy, okay? So while this meat is cooking, I'm just gonna put that aside. Actually, no, before that, sorry about that. So meat is almost cooked, okay? It does not take long. So I'm gonna add 2 bay leaves right in here and 1 cup of sultanas, okay? Which are kind of like raisins, but raisins are too sweet. You gotta use the sultanas. If not, if you do put raisins, you can add a little bit more of the acidity by adding a little bit more of the lemon juice. So you could put another teaspoon or so. But I like the sultanas. With our recipe from other podcasts, we use sultanas for another. Like I said, I try to always use and minimize ingredients, but different combination makes great, great, great food. So while that is just simmering, I'm just gonna put it aside for 2 seconds. I'm gonna bring the heat down just a little bit so I don't overcook it. So here I have 3 eggs, okay? You're gonna blend it up here, whisk it really good. Now with the leftover milk they had last time, you're gonna mix it in there, okay? I'm also gonna add a little bit of salt, so about, a teaspoon of salt. You're gonna add some black pepper here, just to say a little bit of color. And then that little bit leftover turmeric, you're just gonna add to it. You don't need a lot. And then you're gonna mix that. Okay, oh, lost my fork in there. That is pretty much all the ingredients, and it is very quick to prepare for the next step. So the meat is not pink anymore. So what I'm gonna do, you can use, this is a 9-inch glass pan. You can use a thicker one or a bigger one. I like to use 2 of them for the recipe. It cooks a little bit faster. It makes it less dry. So you're gonna put this ground beef right in the pot, in the pan. All right, push it down a little bit. All right, so you guys can see that. And then your mixture of eggs that you just did with the salt and the leftover milk, you're just gonna put it on top until it covers the meat. I do have a little bit of extra here. I did 2 cups of milk instead of 1.5. So you can do 1.5 to 2 cups. Once that is covered, you're going to put 3 bay leaves right on top. And now you're going to cook this in the oven. So in this stage, if you want, you can cover it, put it in the fridge, or wait for the eggs mixture for the next morning. If you want, you can put it in the fridge and wait till the next day. But this is ready. You're going to put it in the oven at 350 between 30 and 45 minutes, depending on the pan that you have. And I'm going to put that in the oven. And the magic of YouTube at Francesco's Kitchen, we have one ready here for you. And my kids are surrounding this table. Okay. So another trick that I found is that to help it so it does not dry too fast, or when you're cooking, do a bain-marie. So you could put this pan on top of a water bath, or make sure that you have a pan under lower with some water, just to try to keep the humidity. It's the same thing when you're making baguettes and stuff and some breads. You want to keep the humidity up so it does not dry too much, because you don't want this to dry up. So I will show you the results here, and then I'm going to plate it up. Look at that. All right, so I'm going to take a little piece here. You can use a bowl, you can use a plate to serve it on. You can serve it on the side with some veggies and some rice if you like. But this is a good thing just by itself, like this. Actually, I'm going to put it in the plate so you guys can see what it looks on the side. You're going to serve it up. Here you go. Bobotie. Or bobotie. Oh, this is delicious.
Don't mind me while I eat.
See, it's already gone. My daughter's right there. Picks it up.
Great job,
Yay, great job. Yes.
Stop the camera for
Well done. What a way to.
It almost looks like a quiche.
It almost looks like a quiche, except with the thing. Almost looks like some meat pie, shepherd's pie, without the crust. Like, subscribe, give us comments, guys.
Yeah.
And donate.